Hello friends, and welcome back to Budgeting with Kim, or welcome if you are new. Today is my turn to go for the financial goals hop for quarter three. Well, no, quarter two. We're updating quarter two, and I'm going to talk about quarter three's goals. This is sponsored by Donna, powered by Creativity, Budget with Mama Bear, and the Traveling and Savings Chief. Budget with Chuckles went on Friday the 18th, and here I am down here on the 20th. And then tomorrow will be Saved Money Saves You. Been some really fantastic information and updates and goals and just all sorts of stuff given by all of these amazing ladies from the videos earlier in the month, and I have no doubt there will be some great information given by the rest of the few ladies here at the end of the month. As we talked about back for the quarter one goals, I'm not much of one. I'm not a pen to paper person, I guess is the best way to put it. I'm not really a pen to paper person, but I will say it does kind of help to see stuff down on paper. In quite a few ways, quarter two was successful, but then, at the same time, we had some financial setbacks. My big goals to hit in quarter two. Keep in mind, I really just started doing the zero-based budget. I started a little bit in December, like dipping my feet in, getting my feet wet, that sort of thing. And then I started it like for real, full-time hard in January. So I had a lot of money that I had to get saved from January 1 to mid-July, 1st of August. And I'm excited to say that those goals I hit. My car insurance was due July 14th. I had a goal of $1,000 just because, I didn't know what it would renew at. It renewed at $1,046, and I want to say I had like $4 to spare from what I had saved between January and July. So we will probably keep on that same pace for this next 6-month period, maybe step it up just a little bit. I went through my binders to try to get a little bit more of an exact amount of what my house insurance total was right now, and I'm sitting at about $1,350, which is awesome because that one is due in August. I should already have had a bill sent to me. It's not yet, so I don't know what that amount will be, but as soon as I do know, I'll get that one paid. My goal for propane, this one is due, well, I have to tell them how much I want anyway, due in August. And my goal was right at $1,000. I did a quick assessment of what I had both in my high priority binder as well as what I had in the Christmas box challenge and the Monster Town box challenge. Monster Town was what we were doing before Christmas in July started. And if I just absolutely had to right now, I could have just over $1,000 for propane, which is hitting my goal for the year. Christmas, this is where one of the setbacks was. By the end of July, because we're saving for Christmas in a slightly different way just for this month, since it's Christmas in July, I should be just shy of or right at 1,000. I don't think that's not going to be like fully funded for everything, but it's going to be darn close. And since it's only July, or the end of July when I total it all up, I'm very, very pleased with that. Real estate tax, right now I have $600 saved. I keep wanting to say in cash, and I guess technically it is. I did finally open a high yield savings account, so some of this is in the bank. So I don't have it in cash right here at my fingertips. But I have 600 saved so far, and we should be on track to hit that goal in December. So these are some personal goals that I had for myself for the second quarter. As far as budgeting with Kim goes, you know, both the channel and my Etsy shop, I hit two big goals there as well. I hit the 600 subscriber mark, which I can't believe that 50 of you have any interest in what I have to say, let alone over 600 of you. So I'm still blown away by that, just absolutely shocked. And then another really, really high point I hit was I did achieve Star Seller on Etsy. Like that, I couldn't believe it. So, you know, when you hear all of this right here, you're like, wow, you know, sounds like you're doing fine to me. Well, okay, so we did have some setbacks in quarter two. And I'm going to say setbacks, not failures, because as long as you keep going and you keep trying, it's not a failure, right? It's a speed bump. It's a lesson learned. It's a, oh, what's the word I'm wanting to use right now? I don't know. Step back, reassess, and try again and keep going. We had to put 4 new tires on the minivan. The mom van, I call it. The front 2 tires were worn down to the nubs. You know, you could see there was like, oh, there was just nothing left. And we decided, well, you know, if we're gonna do it, why not go ahead and put 4 tires on and then have a bit of time to save, you know, fill back up that car maintenance fund before we have to do it again, right? So I did have to empty several envelopes. Car maintenance was just destroyed after that. I took some from car registration, from personal property tax, and I also took 200 from Christmas. So if I hadn't had to take that 200 from Christmas, Christmas would definitely be done by the end of this month. But the van needed new tires. It was reaching a point where it wasn't safe to drive it anymore on the tires that were on there, and so, you know, it was a sacrifice that had to be made. It stinks, but you know, the 2024 Kim, you know, that Kim from back then, she would have panicked and tried to put it on a credit card somewhere or had to borrow the funds. You know, she wouldn't have had all of that money in envelopes to be able to pay that bill. So, I mean, in a lot of ways, even the setback was a success, right? Because as much as I didn't want to have to pull from the places that I pulled from, I still had it. You know what I mean? I didn't have to dip into my emergency fund, because I really did not want to do that. I really didn't want to do that. We talked about it, but I really did not want to do that. Totally lost my train of thought right there. Anyway, we were able to take it from some of the other, you know, funds that we had, and the van has 4 brand new tires on it, so hopefully we'll have some time to get that, you know, built back up. And we still have time to get Christmas built back up, you know. It's only the end of July, you know. We still have a week and a half, almost 2 full weeks left of July, so there's still time to build Christmas back up, which is why I chose to take from Christmas and not from other things. You know, I can't contact the tax people and say, listen, I know I have this tax bill sitting here, but you know, I kind of need you to readjust that tax bill just a little bit, because, you know, I have these expenses over here. You can't do that, right? But I could lower my Christmas budget. If push comes to shove, I could lower my Christmas budget and not spend as much, or, you know, have all of the extras that I might want for Christmas. That I can do, and so that's why I chose to do it that way. We did have to buy a new refrigerator. Luckily, we did have a warranty on the refrigerator, so, you know, that was a benefit for sure. But the refrigerator that we purchased 2 or 3 or 4 years ago. I don't remember exactly now. We did get it on a sale. So that was great at the time, but then when they went to, pay us the warranty for that refrigerator, it wasn't enough to buy a brand new one. So we had to add $600 on to get the same refrigerator because, this time we were stuck paying full price. We considered pulling it from the emergency fund. We did. But I wasn't comfortable with that. I want that emergency fund to stay there and stay intact as long as it is possible for that emergency fund to stay there and stay intact, right? And I didn't think that replacing that refrigerator constituted as an emergency. A pain, yes. A setback, sure. But not an emergency. So I didn't want to touch that. So what we ended up doing was, I had to put it on my credit card, which stinks. Now, luckily, it was only $600, and you better believe I did pay the extra to buy the warranty on the new refrigerator, right? So it can, pay us if, God forbid, I'm knocking on wood, that something happens to this one, we'll have that warranty. So I have that $600 now that I have to get paid off, which means that $600 I'm not going to get to put towards the HELOC. But you got to do what you got to do. This is going to sound like me whining, and I don't want anybody to think I'm whining. As Etsy gets busier, and I'm proud and honored and thrilled and all of those other positive words that you could come up with. I'm thrilled that so many people like what I have created on Etsy. It's amazing and awesome, and it's wonderful. As it gets busier, I have very little downtime. This weekend, aside from the time that I went to Springfield to get groceries, I've been sat here at my desk getting orders made. So it's kind of a catch-22. You want to be successful, at the same time I'm very tired. I'm very tired. So goals for quarter 3 now. One of them is to try to find a balance. Try to find a balance between still being able to be successful. You know what? I don't like that flat angle. So my hand was cramping from holding it. Is that better? That's better. All right, that's better. Yeah. That way I don't have to keep on holding it. Let's do that. There we go. Okay, I'm happy with that. Step back and adjust. That's what I had to do with the camera angle. Okay. So yeah, that is one of the goals that I'm shooting for quarter 3 is to try to find, excuse me, try to find a better balance. Because I haven't found that yet. Excuse me, my goodness. So quarter 3 goals, personal. I want to do a big examination of the budget, or maybe I should say a re-examination of the budget. It has been the way it has been because, sorry about that, friends. I felt a big coughing fit coming on, so I paused so you didn't have to listen to me cough. Anyway, the reason that the budget has been what it was up until this point, up until the end of July / the 1st of August, was because I had some really, really, really big bills that I was having to save for. House insurance, car insurance, real estate taxes, Christmas, big things that needed to get funded in a very small amount of time. So now that car insurance has been paid for this 6-month period, I want to keep that amount the same, so we can hit that goal in January, July, yeah. So we can hit that goal in January the way we hit it in July. So that won't change, but I don't have to save as much each week now for house insurance like I had been. So that could go down. There are several things. Propane, that can go down, how much I have to save every month, which will, free up some of those funds for other things. And so now I need to figure out what those other things looks like. And I'm not sure what that is yet. So I got to put a whole lot of thought into what August / the rest of the year will look like, so I can, you know, hit those goals for next year, but still have a little bit of extra, you know, now that I don't have to save quite as much each month. Which kind of leads into goal number 2, be able to put more money into low priority sinking funds now that I'll have a year to save for higher priority sinking funds. I kind of feel like I basically already explained that. I should have read forward, but yeah, you know, I don't have to keep putting $50 a week into house insurance. I think I did a quick calculation before I hit record, and I think I can take it down to $35 a month and still be just fine, which I will probably do. I don't know, I may leave it at 40. I may take it down to 40. So God forbid anything would happen, I would have the deductible saved as well. That would be nice. Continue to hold myself accountable to myself, my family, and to those that watch my videos. You know, I have stated in the past, my goal is to be very, very transparent about what I am saving and what I'm saving for. And, you know, I'm doing this item over here to save for this sinking fund over here. I also want to be responsible for what I'm saving for, and maintain a balance of what I'm saving for. You know, I want to say this carefully because I don't want to offend anybody. I think it would be irresponsible of me to dump absolutely every penny that I have into getting the debt paid off while sacrificing important sinking funds, for example. You know, it's important to maintain a balance, and so I want to make sure moving forward that I continue to maintain that balance, and to stay on track with high priority sinking funds. You know, it felt good to hit that car insurance goal and to know that all I had to do to pay that bill was go to the bank. You know, I pulled the cash out of my high priority sinking fund binder, and then I went to the bank and I pulled it out of my high yield savings account and paid that bill, and that felt amazing, right? I wasn't shuffling around trying to find where I was going to get that money from. I wasn't, you know, how was I going to pay my car insurance? Wasn't keeping me up at night. My insomnia kept me up at night, but not that. It felt good to hit those goals, just like it's going to feel amazing to pay my house insurance next month. It's going to feel amazing to, you know, just to pay all those things that have to be paid, and I'm going to have the cash to do it. That feels amazing. So I want to stay on track with those high priority sinking funds, and then it might be the last on the personal list, but it's certainly not the least important. I have to get that refrigerator paid off. Or, you know, pay off what is on my credit card that I paid towards the refrigerator. That needs to go bye-bye, so that I can continue pushing to pay off the home equity line of credit. Q3 goals for budgeting with Kim, just because I feel like it's important to have those goals in both areas of my life. Etsy keeps pushing me to consider incorporating, or to, you know, incorporate my business. So it's definitely something to think about and consider. There will be a cost associated with it. So, you know, that will be a small chunk of money that I'll have to save for, but that's okay. I can do that. I don't have any kind of a business binder right now, and I feel like that's something that I should have. You know, so I can, going into the next goal, keep better track of expenses, because the end of the year is going to be, I'm going to blink, and the end of the year is going to be here, and it's going to be time to do taxes. And, you know, then I'm going to be into a mad rush to try to figure all this stuff out. So I need to get on top of that now. So I'm just naturally on top of it every month. So then when the end of the year gets here, I'm not in a panic. Try to make a profit. Yeah, that would be great. Probably not going to happen for a while, but it would be great if it did happen. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm just going to keep pushing at it. One goal that I didn't get written down on this sheet of paper is find a balance. I need to find a balance between personal time and work time and downtime, and I don't want to always be stuck here at my desk of an evening and a weekend and weekends working on Etsy stuff when I'm also stuck at my desk all day every day because I do work remotely from home. So finding a balance, that I think that would be the number 5 goal for budgeting with Kim goals. So there you have it. Overall, I am going to call the last 3 months as a win. I'm going to say we were successful all the way around, simply because even learning lessons is a success, right? If something happens, if you've learned from it, well, then you were successful at it, right? You learned something, step back, reevaluate, and move forward. So there were no failures. There were some lessons. There were some readjustments and moving forward. So overall, I'm going to call Q2 a success. I hope and I hope and pray that when we come back for a Q3 update, I can continue to say that, it was a success overall. I'm just going to choose to believe that. Whether or not it's true, I don't know, but I'm going to choose to believe that. All right, my friends, I hope you have a lovely rest of your Sunday, and I will see you all back here tomorrow for Mini Monday. Bye, friends.